Good evening. My name is Luke Moore. I'm a student at the Liberty University, and I wanted to take some time to talk to you about a group that I was able to run this morning. It occurred at 9 o'clock. It was at the Richmond Comprehensive Treatment Center, which is located in Indiana. This is a outpatient treatment center that focuses on opiate addiction, and they do utilize medication-assisted treatment, which is the use of Vivitrol, Subutex, Suboxone, Methadone to help address the opiate addicted patients that they're serving on the outpatient basis. So this group was comprised of 3 males and 3 females. They ranged in age from, I would say, probably 23 years old to probably late 50s. And it took place at their center. They had a large group room that I was able to utilize. And my relationship with this center is that I'm a regional director for Acadia Healthcare, which is, we run, well, I'm in charge of 7 different centers that are very similar to the Richmond Comprehensive Treatment Center. So the counselors there were able to, put up flyers and kind of advertise the group, and I wanted this focused on patients that were a little bit newer to treatment, and my hope was to have anybody that was there 6 months or less. And with medication assisted treatment, you usually look somewhere around the 1 to 2 year mark as far as length of stay. Just because of the design of the treatment, it allows them to get back to work, repair relationships with their families, and really take full gain of all the counseling and groups that are run at these centers. So they were very successful in that. The earliest length of stay patient had only been there for about 2 weeks, and again, this is an outpatient center. And I think the longest was, I want to say it was about 5.5 months. So it's a very good dynamic, and the focus of the group was really to talk about kind of the stigma that they're facing with their addictions in the community, in their families, in the world, and also just let them know on some of the great movement that's happened from a state and federal level as far as getting support to them for their recovery. So I started the group with roll call. I asked just to share their name and also just how long they had been in treatment, and then we followed that up very quickly with a exercise. And this exercise is something that I got from a gentleman named Clint Myers. It's called Have You Ever? And with a title like that, you have to make certain that you explain to them kind of the guidelines of what this is. And so basically what it is, you get 6 carpet squares, you kind of spread them out, and since there were 6 members and myself, that of course leaves kind of odd man out. That person goes in the middle. And the focus of this one was share a stigma that you have faced with your addiction. And the other thing that they were able to do is share an impact that it's had on their family. And so one quick example was, have you ever lost your job because of your addiction? And that had impacted everybody in this group. And so with that, then you have to skip a square and find a new square to stand on. And of course, that's always going to leave one person out, which is keeps the exercise kind of going. Makes people more comfortable working with one another. They responded very well. The initial thought was they're adults and they're too mature to play a game like this. They quickly saw the benefits of it, and it took about 20 minutes to run through it, and it took us another 10 minutes to process. So with that, one of the things I highlighted for them, and a lot of them were caught it, was that everybody, despite their age, gender, coming, from different parts of the country, in some of the cases, everybody had a very similar experience with some of the stigma that they had faced. And it was just great to see and impact that they're not alone. And we kind of took that, kind of theme, and we rolled it over to the next part of the group. Was pretty much just, I wanted to just hear directly from them about what more we can do as a company, and really, as I'm talking to senators and as my organization, talks to a lot of different people on a federal level, what more can we do to really help with this. And so we had some very good ideas. One of them actually, and I'll call him Bob, he said that he would like to see commercials and kind of an anti-stigma campaign. I was so excited that he said that because we're actually working with the state of Indiana. They are doing an actual campaign to just do that. They took some of the Cures grant money, which came from the federal government, and they're using that money to really educate the public. And one of the things they're doing is commercials. And so when I was able to share that with him, you could tell it just really made his day. And I said, that's awesome that he had that idea, that we were actually able to, I would be able to really share that with him, that came directly also from a patient. And it kind of helps the state and helps us really as a company know that we're hopefully, kind of on the right path in what we're doing. So that was very impactful, and he responded very well, and pretty much the whole group, as a whole, was just very excited to hear that. The other thing I was able to share with them was the financial part of it, and the state of Indiana in particular just granted Medicaid to go ahead and pay for their services in the state of Indiana, which is huge. The financial burden that took off of many patients was incredible. So overall, I think it was an extremely good group. They left very motivated and more positive, and that was really my goal. I just wanted them to know that as a company and, as somebody, I don't get a lot of direct patient care contact anymore. I'm traveling to these 7 different centers and, focusing on that, we do care and we're out there to help them. So I think that it was an extremely helpful group for them, and I definitely really enjoyed it as well.